please, please, if you take anything from this video, do not buy a meal plan from if I ever come out with a meal plan, don't buy it, okay? Alrighty, guys, gals, non-binary pals, thank you so much for clicking on the video. Before we get into it, I want to say, if you would love to join these lovely people here on the side of the screen, that is from my Twitch chat. So we stream these live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you would love, we would love to have you. If you would love to join us, it's completely free to join. It doesn't cost you any money. And also, these shirts are now available. So there will be a link down in the description. Don't get scammed, you know, and you support me, which I appreciate. But the video that we're going to be talking about today is from the creator Rosa Charisse, I believe. I might be saying that wrong. But the title of the video, which is what got my attention, I actually haven't watched this video. So we're going to be going in blind. I was told that I should just like kind of watch it live because it might be fun that way. So it's called Losing 25 Pounds in Just 1 Month, How I Lost Weight Fast. Interesting title. So let's go ahead and watch it.
Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I talk all about weight loss. I lost 130 pounds myself and I try to help you guys out with your own weight loss journeys. I have been absent from YouTube for a while and I am coming back officially. And honestly, I'm going to be real with you. I have been going through a really tough time. I've been dealing with some personal things and unfortunately I did gain weight. I made a video about me gaining weight a couple months prior and I already expected this to happen to me, and I dealt with a lot of different types of struggles going through a weight gain journey. But
so I mean, this is I've said this, y'all know I've said this a million times, but this is why I'm not saying you can't make videos about weight loss, but again, just be careful, because if you do gain weight, you are now afraid to even talk about it, right? It becomes very scary. So again, I'm just saying, like, this, it just keeps getting more and more reinforced every time I watch videos like this. I'm just like, I'm not saying you can't do it, but just be aware that if you end up getting a following for losing weight, if you gain weight, that's a whole nother thing you have to deal with. So that's all. Okay, we're going to keep going.
Fortunately, I was able to lose all of the weight that I gained, and I'm so excited to share my methods of weight loss and how I lost weight fast. I wasn't on keto. I wasn't doing anything special. I was honestly just eating in a calorie deficit and having a very simple exercise routine, and I was still able to shed the weight off. I lost 130 pounds about 2 years ago, and I kept it off almost this entire time.
So what I'm seeing now, again, I haven't seen this yet. She seems like a very nice person, and she seems very, very genuine and very sweet. First off, I want to say that. Red flags that I am already hearing, right? So this is just how my mind works. When you hear lose weight fast, that's always going to be a red flag for me. I don't even know what she's about to say. I might agree with what she says. I might not agree with what she says. But when I hear that, and so the reason I'm saying that is I want you all that are watching this, when you hear lose weight fast, that should always, always be a red flag for you to be like, okay, I'm not saying don't believe what the person's saying, but just be careful, okay? Just be careful.
However, last year was very hard for me. I was going through a bit of a depression. I was living in a different state. I didn't have any friends, and I was around my dad, who has recently passed, and he was sick. About a year ago, I almost broke my legs. I tore my hamstrings completely, and I messed up my right knee.
Jesus. Well, I'm very sorry to hear all that stuff. Yikes. That's rough. Holy crap.
And it prohibited me from doing any type of intense exercising, and I fell into a bit of a depression because I wasn't able to keep up the same intensity of exercise that I was doing before. The way that
I can relate to that, man. Like, injury, if you are someone that really enjoys exercising and working out and fitness and moving your body, injury is so much more than just the fact that you can't move anymore. It's hard. Like, I've dealt with back injuries. Like, right, last year I couldn't do what I wanted to do for a long time, and it was hard, man. Like, it was really, really hard. I'm very lucky and I'm very glad that I have the grasp that I have on nutrition and exercise and all of that stuff, that I was able to be smart about what I did so I didn't like gain weight or anything like that. But it was still really hard. Like, it's not fun. And so I can totally understand that. That makes things harder. It really does.
That I was able to maintain my weight during this time, since I couldn't exercise a lot, was by basically just eating in a calorie deficit, and that worked for me. I wanted to start exercising again, and I wanted to improve my body, and I didn't want to lose my results. So I was researching, how do I basically repair an injury, or one of the hardest injuries to overcome. And the only thing that I could really find was rehabilitation, getting massages, or any type of therapeutic treatment, and on top of that, eating more calories to put mass onto my body again, to be able to build muscle and fat in the areas that I was lacking.
So this is actually, it's really interesting that she brought this up, because that's something that, like, if you're injured, right, your body it's going to try to heal itself. So if you are in a deficit and you feel like you need to continue to be in a deficit while you're trying to heal, I'm not saying that you can never heal, but it's going to make that process take longer, right? Because your body is going to use those calories. It's going to use that stuff. And if you're in a deficit, same thing as even if you get sick, right? If you're sick, most people recommend you just eat at maintenance at least, right? So you can get better, because your body will use that fuel, right? So it's interesting that she brought that up.
I also moved to another state, and I was living with my dad, who is unfortunately not with us anymore, but he was sick. He was very ill. And because I couldn't work out as hard as I wanted to, and because I was just in this atmosphere, I became very, very depressed. I decided that I wanted to do something and change my circumstances, and I wanted to get better, and I wanted to get healthier. Even though I was sad and I wasn't really doing well emotionally, I still had the discipline and the motivation to be able to change my circumstances and to do better for myself. So I knew that I had to gain some weight to be able to fix the issues that were wrong in my body. I made a couple videos about this a while ago. I didn't start gaining weight until December of last year, so December 2020, and I considered it all in, basically meaning eating how you want to with no restriction. I want to go all in because I am trying to reset my body. I injured myself, and I have been just strictly fasting, eating right, which is perfectly fine, which is good, but it's causing me mental stress, and that mental stress is coming through my body physically. And if I want to eat pizza, I'm gonna eat it. I started eating sugar again, and I feel good. But then I actually got on a specific weight gain diet where I was eating a surplus of protein every single day.
So this is why I think, like, I'm not the biggest fan of, like, all in, the whole Stephanie Buttermore thing, and, like, people, I don't know. I feel like it's a little gimmicky, in my opinion. But, like, I do think, like, when we're talking about health and wellness, so many people focus on being as slim as possible. That means health, right? That doesn't mean health. Health is much more than just how much you weigh on the scale, right? It's your mental health. It's are you able to move your body, right? That's important. And so if you are not able to move your body because you're in a deficit and you're not able to heal, then I would say that that's not health, right? So a lot of this information is good. There's just certain things that I'm like, I disagree with, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. I'm just like, especially the all-in thing. It just became so tainted with everything that happened. So
I do eat some starch, so I'll either eat potatoes or rice or something like that with a salad, and then these patties. This is what we're working with over here. I just have some brown rice, and then I have the two patties. They're just medium size, and they don't really taste like ground beef, of course not, because they're plant-based, but they do definitely fill you up. And this is how I would usually get my protein, and this is what I use to get my protein in. This is usually my main source of protein, along with any plant-based protein that I use, but this is usually where I get about 140 grams of protein a day from drinking this. I was eating around 160 grams of protein every single day, and usually people who are trying to build,
I'm not sure if I heard that right, but did you say she was getting 140 grams of protein strictly from protein shakes? Because if that's true, there are cheaper ways to get that much protein. Even vegan ways, because it seems like I think she was vegan then, or maybe she still is, but that's a lot of protein just from a protein shake. Like, woof.
Muscle or gain muscle mass or gain weight in general, do this. And that's what I did in efforts to help build some muscle back into my legs, back into my body, because my muscles had atrophied from being injured. But I have been dealing with this injury for months since March, since the beginning of this year, and it has been very difficult for me. My weight is still in the 150s and the 160s, but that is actually a problem for me. I came out with a video about a week or two ago talking about OMAD and exactly what I eat in a day.
So if you don't know what OMAD is, I'm not sure if she's going to explain it, but what OMAD is, it's 1 meal a day. So you only eat one time during a day. It's a way of intermittent fasting that a lot of people seem to use.
Now, and basically people are like, how are you eating this right now if, you know, you talk about weight loss? And it is because I'm trying to gain weight at the moment. I have to gain weight and rebuild the strength back in my legs.
So the thread that I am seeing here is that, at least from what has been explained so far, is it's going from like one fad thing to another fad thing to another fad thing. She's talking about how she was keto and then she was vegan for a while. I'm not sure if she's vegan OMAD at this point, but it's like, this is what so many people do, is so many people, they chase the shiny thing, right? So they chase the shiny thing, the thing that promises to be the answer to all of the problems. This is the diet for you. I'm telling you right now, there is no fad diet that will make you lose weight faster than just being in a deficit, right? Like, none of these things are better than another thing. Like, if it helps you get in a deficit, that's fine. And then the same thing even with gaining weight, right? None of these fads are going to make you gain weight any better than another one. Especially OMAD is very strange. I'm not sure if she's still trying to gain weight, but OMAD for weight gain would be very difficult. But it's all calories, right? That is the base. So many people want to focus on again, I bring it up all the time, want to focus on the tip of the pyramid before the base is figured out, before the foundation has been laid. And I'm telling you, lay the foundation before you build the tip. That sounds a little sus. We're just going to keep going.
And then lose it again and get fit like I was, but it is going to take me some months. So this is where I showed you guys that I started eating carbs again. I started eating high amounts of protein. I started eating starches.
To bread. Shout out to bread. Love bread.
I started eating oatmeal, rice, beans, pancakes, and protein shakes every single day. And to my surprise, this actually worked. I am kind of upset that I gained weight, but I'm so glad that I lost it. And I'm so glad that I did go on a weight gain journey, because if I didn't, I would have not been able to exercise like I can now. With any type of weight gain, there are downsides to it.
I'm confused right now. So it's like, she said at the beginning she's happy that she gained weight, but then she's saying she's mad that she gained weight and she had to lose it. This is very confusing. I'm confused now.
You feel bloated all of the time. Your body changes. You're not as muscular. Keep in mind that I was gaining weight to be able to put on more muscle mass, but I couldn't really exercise at the same intensity as I was before. So I started gaining weight, but not really becoming fit, just putting on fat and somewhat some muscle.
I'm going off on tangents, but the thing with, I think a lot of people that lose weight, you get kind of used to that process, right? Weight loss, and people might disagree with me, weight loss, losing fat is easier than gaining muscle by far, right? To lose weight, there's basically one thing you focus on: calories in versus calories out. Be in a deficit, right? There are ways that you can optimize and make sure your macros are in place, right? Which I would say is probably a good idea. But if you strictly want to lose weight, that's all you have to care about. If you want to gain weight and muscle, like good weight, but you know what I mean, muscle mass, you have to be in a surplus, not too much, so you're not gaining too much fat, right? So there's that. You have to be making sure you're hitting your actual macros that you want to be hitting, especially protein. And you have to make sure that you are training in a way that will make muscles grow. Because just because you are eating enough calories and drinking protein shakes, that ain't going to cause your muscles to grow. Your muscles need to be stimulated. They need you to work out. Like, it's not just going to happen. Even if you're on steroids, like, they're not just going to grow out of nowhere. You have to make it happen, right? So that's why I always say gaining muscle is actually more difficult than losing fat.
I started eating more, my hormones, my hunger signals started becoming kind of out of control. My body is really not used to not dieting or eating sugar or large amounts of carbs. So gaining weight and going through a weight gain journey, eating or at least trying to eat whole food, turned into me eating like cookies and frappuccinos and ice blended drinks and sugar with coffee inside of it. And this started creating somewhat type of health complications for me. I started having...
Well, like, if you're gonna go from keto to then just eating, I mean this in the kindest way possible, but eating like an a-hole and just like eating things that are just like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. What do you think is going to happen? I guess. I don't know. Like,
really bad anxiety because I was mixing coffee and sugar together almost every single day. I was also experiencing high blood pressure for the first time in my life. I remember I would be trying to go to sleep and I would literally feel my heart beating and just like feel anxiousness, and I've never felt that before, and I started getting concerned for my health. Even though gaining 25 pounds is not really considered overweight for my height and the current weight that I'm at, still gaining weight was starting to create health issues for me because I was doing it so rapidly and I started feeling so uncomfortable in my skin. I started becoming unfit. I saw things that I had lost or I thought I had lost when I first lost weight come back.
Okay, so I know that I've been pretty critical, which I don't mean to be so critical, because at the end of the day, I don't think that it's her fault, right? So what I actually have a problem with is the information that has become very popular in the weight gain space, in the health at every size space, that make people think that if you just gain weight, you will become happier and healthier, right? That's like what you hear. Just gain weight, eat what you want, go all in. Go all in and you will become happier. You won't have any issues anymore. Everything will be better. Right? And so it's very clear what I'm understanding now that we're more than halfway through this video, is that she heard that stuff and she believed it, and so she went for it. And then she had to pay the price, sadly, for that information that is being put out there, right? Which that's why I get so frustrated when I hear this stuff, because whether or not that works for some other people, there are people like her and like a lot of other people that are just going to hear it and be like, let me jump into that. Let me do it. And then they have to go through this, which is unnecessary. It's not necessary to do this to yourself, right? Like, it's not. You don't need to go through this. So that's why this stuff gets so frustrating to me.
The shape of my body was changing. I was not liking the way that I was looking. Fast forward, I gained about 20 to 25 pounds. And when I gained this weight, the pain in my legs stopped. I got stronger within my legs and I built a lot of mass in my legs. As you can see, I'm going to show photos throughout this video, but I gained a lot of mass inside of my legs, and it actually helped me with the pain and with my athletic performance later on because they are so much physically stronger. I was looking at myself in the mirror and I realized how out of shape I had gotten, and I would cry. I would look at myself and be like, I do not like my body. I do not like what I see. I started reminding myself, you know what? I disciplined myself before. I've lost weight before. I've gotten fit before. I've been through a lot of stuff. This is just an obstacle and I'm gonna be able to do this again, but I'm not gonna do it the first way that I did it. I'm not gonna do it on keto. I'm not gonna do any type of super restrictive diet. I'm going to basically pace my body. But to my surprise, I was able to lose weight fast and lose the weight again again in 1 month. So the first thing that I did was basically get motivated and inspired again. I had to do things that made me happy and watch videos that made me happy and fill my brain with positivity. I think when we're sad about the way that we look or the way that we feel about ourselves, we gravitate towards negativity instead of inspiring ourselves or finding inspiration in the first place. So I knew what I had to do was change the way that I thought, change my thinking process, and that's exactly what I did. I started discovering new ways to lose weight, watching new weight loss videos, trying to unprogram my mind. I had kind of developed a sugar addiction again because I was eating so much to kind of combat the depression that I was feeling during the time. So instead of eating regular sugar, I switched it to unprocessed sugar, so just fruit. So anytime that I wanted to eat something that was really sugary, I would eat fruit instead of that. I didn't cut off carbs completely. What I did was basically eat healthier carbs or carbs that had multi-purpose. So usually
I like sugar. All right? You can have sugar and lose weight. I don't care what anyone says. You can have sugar and you can have simple carbs that are not complex. Simple carbs for a simple boy. Simple carbs for a simple boy. Don't hate on the simple carbs. All right? I'm just going to say it.
If we eat like French fries or something, those are just plain starches. It has no nutritional benefit. I would eat chickpeas or beans or brown rice instead of eating something that didn't have any benefit to.
So there is nothing wrong with eating that way. Okay, I want to make it clear. Like if you want to eat that way and that's how you enjoy eating, that's fine. But also, if you want to have French fries, like it's not the end of the world, and you can still lose weight eating that type of food. You can still lose weight eating bread. You can still lose weight eating regular rice, white rice, brown rice, whatever rice you want to eat. You can still lose weight eating those foods, right? We don't need to demonize things and say sugar. You need to avoid sugar. What does that even mean, right? There are many different types of sugar. Like this stuff, again, it's overcomplicating something that does not need to be so complicated. And that's, again, something that's important to me. Simple rules for a simple boy, all right?
Instead of eating these heavy carbohydrates that have high calories and no nutrition, I would eat whole grains if I wanted some bread or if I wanted some carbs. So I stuck to oatmeal, I stuck to whole grain bread, and as I mentioned before, rice. As far as exercising goes, I did not want to push my body too much because I was trying to get fit again, and literally I couldn't even run a mile a couple months ago, and I couldn't believe it because even though I only gained about 25 pounds, I was just not fit. I tried to not put any stress on my body. Basically walked a lot and did a lot of cardio, and I ran and I walked. So basically,
now I'm a fan of walking. Y'all know that. I think it's one of the most underrated forms of exercise. I put it in quotes because a lot of people are like, oh, that's not exercise, but it totally, absolutely is. So I'm a fan of walking, especially if you have knee problems, and you can walk and it doesn't cause you pain, then walk. And don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like you're not doing enough. That's fine.
basically, I would go on a mile walk in the morning time, and usually with my dog, and then I would go and work out about 2 to 3 miles on the treadmill, no incline. Like I said, I wasn't trying to stress myself out, just get active again and build up that stamina. And then around 7-8, because it is May, June, it's a little bit hot outside, I did walk another mile right before I went to sleep. Another thing that I tried to do is jump roping. I just got back into jump roping because I was injured previously. It was very difficult for me to jump rope every other day, but now the flooring in my apartment and just different equipment that I have also allow me to jump rope, and you only need to do this for about 25 to 30 minutes a day, and that's what I usually do as well. I also intermittent fasted. This is my go-to.
I'm sorry. Like, walking / running 5 miles a day and doing 30 minutes of jump rope is a lot of exercise. Like, there's nothing, if you want to exercise, that's fine. But like, that is a lot. That's not a lot. That's like a lot of time that you're spending exercising a day. I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry.
And I am a big supporter of intermittent fasting. Everybody knows this. So I basically tried to do the warrior diet, which is 20 hours to 4-hour fasting, or OMAD. I still stuck to that every single day. And I also think that was the way that I lost weight. So just to sum.
Why? It doesn't need to be this complicated, y'all. It doesn't. I promise you. It doesn't need to be this complicated. Like, if you want to fast, you want to do intermittent fasting, that's fine, right? That's fine. You can do it. I'm not going to tell you you're not allowed to. If it works for you, that's great. But, like, it's not necessary, especially 20-hour fast with a 4-hour eating window while you're walking in the morning, more exercise in the evening, doing a workout in the middle of the day, doing jump rope, and only feeding yourself 4 hours out of the day. That is just, it's not necessary. So if that sounds like a lot to you, it is. And again, not necessary. You do not need to lose, 25 pounds in a month. You don't need to do it, especially if you only have 25 pounds to lose or something like that, right? If you're losing 200 pounds, you might lose 25 pounds in a month and you won't even be doing anything that crazy. But, like, it doesn't need to be this complicated. It is very simple. That doesn't mean it's easy. Weight loss is hard. It's hard. But it's simple. Calories in versus calories out for most of the population, that's what you should focus on. You don't need to do all this crazy stuff. It's not necessary. And as we've seen, sadly, a lot of times it ends up in things kind of going up and down and up and down and up and down, right?
Summarize everything. I had carbs and I had whole grains. I had fruit if I want to eat sugar, and I ate 1,500 or 1,400 to 1,800 calories every single day. I fasted for 20 hours a day and ate for only 4, but I didn't restrict myself. I allowed myself to have certain foods. I did not stress myself out with my exercise routine. I'm going to try to make more what I eat in a day videos that are surrounded around eating in a calorie deficit rather than a certain diet, because yes, back in the day, I did lose 100 pounds on the ketogenic diet. However, it isn't the only way that I lost weight. There are different ways to lose weight, and this video is an example of that. I have meal plans down below, and I will also be coming out with a 1,500 calorie meal plan that has meals like this. I'm working on it right now, but it will be out probably.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna lose it. Like I said, I believe that she is a nice person, but don't buy meal plans from YouTubers, okay? Please. Don't buy meal plans from YouTubers. You can buy t-shirts, but don't buy meal plans from YouTubers that they themselves are struggling with weight loss and weight gain. Please, if you take anything from this video, do not buy a meal plan from if I ever come out with a meal plan, don't buy it, okay? If I ever come out with a meal plan, do not buy it. Please, okay? That's the end of the video. Do not buy meal plans from YouTubers. Thank you very much.